Now, one man you should see at the front of the grid in TKM Extreme this weekend is Harry Moore. Harry joins me, 2016 British champion. In your first season as a rookie, it's been a little bit more problematic since then. Fourth last year, few issues this year, but still very strong. How much have you enjoyed your, I say, rise to the top, because you came out of nowhere as a rookie in an ultra competitive field, and you've sort of stayed there really, but winning that British Championship in your first season, how amazing was that?
Yeah, that was a good feeling. I wasn't really expecting that. We went into the season just expecting, like we was looking for a top 10, and then it really, like the third round came along, and then that's when we thought we could win it from there. And ever since then, we have been towards the top of the field. We have struggled a bit this year, but I think we're slowly getting back up to the top again now. And
this weekend, what's it looking like so far?
It's not gone too well so far, but we've still got another heat, a pre-final, and if it rains, then I'm sure it'll be okay again, so I'm not worried.
Okay, good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
One driver you should also see in the TKM Extreme class this weekend, at the front I'm told, for Dean Hale. But I want to ask you a little bit about your career moving forward. You took a motorsport degree, very successful there, and you are now working for?
Yeah, I'm in at Williams at the minute. I've been there 10 years now, and I've just got
John Williams, the butcher?
Yeah, no, yeah, Williams F1 at the minute. Yeah, yeah, I'm on the race team, travelling around to all the circuits, looking after all the composite components. So, yeah, it's good fun. Get to see a lot of different countries, and yeah.
Yeah, and that's your role. So I guess karting's taken a little bit of backward step, but this weekend, no Formula One on, so you're here at Kimbolton.
Yeah, pretty much every spare weekend I get out in a kart. This is my third race of the year, so yeah, see how we can get on.
And I'm told, little birdie tells me, you're doing pretty well this weekend.
Yeah, I got a bit lucky yesterday, managed to win both heats, so hopefully we can carry on today.
Okay, well, good luck.
Cheers.
Well, from the front row of the grid, Dean Hale's going to have an interesting mission against Sparrow. Cornell and Allnut on the second row from Taylor and Wellham. Springfield, Pashley, Beery and Ayres rounding out the top 10. From Sullivan and the 26 of Ryan Green, it's going to be Michael Green just behind him on the grid. Some big names through the field to keep an eye on as well. Lots of other drivers charging through. Keep an eye on Owain Rosser towards the tail end of the field. Amy Duke in the middle could be an interesting one as the race continues. But let's get underway. It's the TKM Extreme Elite Final as the field charges forward. Sparrow squeezed a little bit there by Hale. It's going to come right round the outside. And I think that's enough for Hale to get into the lead. It is! Brilliant start from Dean Hale. He charges forward. Absolutely terrific. That is the textbook start from the outside line. That was beautiful into Stowe.
I first filmed Dean Hale here at Kimbolton in a club meeting when he was in cadets years ago. I always like to have a bit of banter with Dean. He'll tell you that. But he is quality, there's no doubt about it, and he doesn't do a lot of karting these days because he's working with Williams F1, of course, travelling the world. We've got a great move there for third place going through Kimbolton corner. But Dean, although he doesn't race a lot, he's given a little message there.
Yeah, what was that?
There. I'm not sure what that's about. But although he doesn't race a lot these days, when he does come back to it, he's right at the front of the field. That's a great move by Matthew Allnut for third.
Yeah, made the move there on the 33 of Michael Cornell. Great racing between those two as they swap positions again, but there's all sorts of rumours at the moment about Lance Stroll disappearing to another team now that his father has bought the Force India F1 team. If Williams are stuck for drivers, they've got one in their aerodynamics team. I'm sure he'd do a great job, Dean Hale.
I bet he would, actually. He really would, honestly.
He's one of those drivers who we keep saying there's a dozen Formula One world champions in our paddock that never had the money to get there.
Great
Beautiful move.
Fourth, was that Wellham? It looks like Wellham to me. That's
I think
Wellham
it is
Scullers.
the 51. Yes, he's gone through and made the move on Cornell, so now he's making his intentions on third place. Matthew Allnut. Keep an eye on the 97 coming up. That's Kai Springfield. He's up in a sixth position, just in ahead of Pashley, and then it's the 8 of Matthew Taylor, ironically enough, in 8th place.
You're talking about Dean Hale getting that seat in Williams F1, Jake. I think the conversation may go from Claire Williams to Dean Hale. Dean, how much cash have you got? About £10.50, Claire. Yeah, okay, we'll look for something
Well,
else.
you could drive for the sim racing Williams team, of course, if there's any seats left. I mean, Dean Hale very, very solidly in the lead of this one, and that's a move for third. Wellham again.
He loves that Kim Bolton corner, doesn't he?
And that's going to give Cornell a bit of a run, but he's going to get squeezed there by Allnut. Perfectly legitimate move. He had his racing line. He's able to protect it from the inside, no problem at all. So Cornell has to tuck back in front of Kai Springfield. Then it's Pashley, Taylor, and then the Greens. Michael in front of Ryan at the moment in the top 10. Then it is the 58 of Matthew Ayres in 11th place. Oh, and a spin! That is Pashley. Pashley has gone the 59. What a shame for James Pashley. That didn't look to me like that was any funny business. That was just 2 or 3 drivers battling for the move.
I'm not sure.
Let's have a look on the inside. Oh, Pashley was the architect of his own demise.
It was. He's had to hit the brakes to stop himself running into the kart in front, and unfortunately spun it around. Look at that. Everybody misses him. How do they miss him?
Very good driving. Michael Green just about tagged the rear of the kart as it went around, but I'm afraid to say if Pashley wants to point the finger at anybody, I'm afraid he's going to have to find a mirror in the paddock on that one. That wasn't really anybody he could blame but himself, unfortunately.
To be fair to him, he's trying to stop himself running into someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what happened. But Dean Hale out front from the current leader in the British Championships. I say the current leader in the British Championships, Jake. Adam Sparrow had an absolute nightmare at the last round. And of course, the man that was on fire that weekend had a 22-point championship lead going in the final as the race was going on. Sam Fowler, we interviewed Sam earlier with his brother Joe, of course. And unfortunately, he then had his own failure, Sam, mechanical failure, and went from a 22-point championship lead during the middle of the race down to 5th place in the championship. And Adam Sparrow, who started way down the field, he ended up going out of the round still with the championship lead in his pocket. He's probably still thinking I should go and buy a lottery ticket because how lucky did I get that day?
Yeah, he's kind of lucky he's having in 2018 with his form is definitely swings and roundabouts, isn't it? He's had good luck on top of bad luck. I tell you what, this time out, he's right there with Dean Hale. James Pashley, despite that spin, has come back fighting. 43.11 for the lap.
Yeah, he's not happy with himself, and he's all right. He's got the red mist going on now, James Pashley, but unfortunately, well down the field.
Well, interestingly, Owain Rosser is still down the field as well in 20th place. I thought he'd make more progress through the field, and for some reason, he just hasn't been able to charge his way forward like I thought he would. Even 6 laps in, he's only 19th. I would have thought he'd made a few more places than that.
Rosser, top quality, we know from British Championships, but not doing it today.
Well, of course, the thing with TKM Extreme at the Maxis TKM Festival is you've got a lot of superstars in this particular category, as Dean Hale signals to Sparrow, come on, let's get away.
Well, he's giving him the thumbs up there. He knows that Adam Sparrow's not going for any moves. He just wants to get away with Dean at the front and gives himself enough of a gap so he can start battling towards the latter part of the race.
Well, there's a lot of quality drivers in this field who don't have the same sort of budget as a lot of the drivers in the British Championships who can afford to run an entire campaign. We've seen a few drivers here at the TKM Festival in different classes who can only run maybe 1 or 2 or even a maximum of 3 events in the British Championship over the course of the year, because that's what their budget allows them to do, which is why we see such an interesting field at the Maxis TKM Festival, because if you've got to pick one event to do in your British karting campaign and you're a TKM driver, you do the Maxis TKM Festival. I mean, it's their Indy 500.
There's drivers in the British Championships not here this weekend, which does surprise me. All right, it's holiday season, maybe they're on holiday, but I would always be here at this event. It's such a fantastic event. Talking about fantastic events, there's a fantastic move through turn 1, a classic move through turn 1 for the fastest man on the track. It's Kai Springfield.
Yeah, he's literally just set that fastest lap, and obviously that's given him the confidence to dive up the inside of Cornell, moves up in a 5th position. So it's Hale and Sparrow, there they are, battling away in front of Wellham and Allnut as they duel for 3rd position. It's 2x2 hurrah in the top 6, isn't it? Hale and Sparrow, Wellham and Allnut, Springfield and Cornell, and then Taylor in 7th. Oh, that's Patterson and Ireland. So Patterson on the 29 and Ireland on the 68. They seem to have both gone off at the same point there, just on the exit of Stowe. So surely it's going to be yellow flags for the two of them. Have no idea at all whether they hit each other, but they're both off at the same part of the course. Yellow flags. So there's no overtaking through that first part. Is there going to be a suspension of the race? They're going to go to Battenberg's? No, I think we're okay. Yes, the carts are just pulled off there. That is Ireland's cart being pulled aside by James himself, but both of them off at the same point of the circuit. So that, unfortunately, is their Extreme Elite Final over. Now, Question, Adam Sparrow's time to pounce in about 4.5 minutes, I would reckon.
Well, I think before that, to be honest, 4:50 on the clock, I think he's going to be looking for a move around about maybe 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. He wants to try and get track position, get the lead. He's had enough of a look at Dean Hale. He must know now, by now, where he can make the move, and he will be making a move, the leader in the British Championships, during this event. Make no mistake, he's not sat there all the way through the race not to make a move for the lead. This is, bear in mind, Jake, I've said this before, these one weekend events, it's all, I don't like to use the term win or crash, but it's win or crash.
Well, it's definitely, absolutely. Somebody else is off in the background, a stationary yellow. Now, I wonder, was that the, well, it's definitely 50-something. I'm trying to figure out what it was. It might have been Matthew Ayres, you know, the 58. I couldn't quite see from a distance, but I thought Matthew Ayres was running quite well in the top 10. So we'll double check and see if he comes through. Yes, Ayres has come through. Definitely 50-something. That might have been Adam Crofts-Davies, actually, the 52.
Maybe. It's 50-something anyway. Couldn't quite make out from where we are. There is the car.
Rosser's still going, so I don't think it's Rosser. We'll double check later, but unfortunately that is another incident further on. Hale and Sparrow battling away up front. Now, this is interesting. Wellham and Allnut have been caught by Springfield, Cornell and Taylor. So now it is a four-way battle for position. So Wellham is in a five-way battle, for position. And up the inside, that is Taylor making his way past Cornell into Kim Bolton corner. So he's up in a P6. Nice move there from Taylor. He's got some work to do if he wants to be on the podium, but he's got time to do it. 3 minutes and 10 on the clock.
Matthew Allnut on the 36 there, the former British Open champion, won that at this event a few years ago, and he was very, very proud of that. He'd love to do it again. Doesn't look like he's going to be winning this race, but you've got the O-Plate coming up later.
Look at Hale. He's suddenly started. He's realised that this is about the point that Sparrow would start to think about making the move, and Dean Hale is putting on a fly a couple of laps. He's trying to get away from Adam Sparrow. He does not want this opportunity to open up. This is exactly the same sort of thing Abby Pulling did in the juniors.
Yeah,
he's doing exactly the same thing. Dean Hale is trying to check out. He doesn't want Sparrow to even think about a move. Sparrow's been spitting out Hale's exhaust fumes all race. As up the inside goes Allnut on Wellham. That's going to leave the door potentially open for Springfield, but he shuts it well enough there, Wellham, to hold on to fourth position. But Dean Hale is trying to disappear before Sparrow even gets a whiff of opportunity.
Yeah, it's perfect. It looks exactly like the previous race, the junior TKM race, where Abby Pulling started to pull a bit of a gap.
Look at that,
towards
that's daylight.
the end. And again, that could be a setup issue. Maybe a couple of pound difference in the tyres, and they start to go off the longer the race goes on. So looks like Dean Hale's got the perfect setup. And I have to say as well, Wellham goes up the inside for third on Allnut. That's another nice move by Rob there. I have to say, these new Birillart chassis, Jake, in TKM for the J team have been fantastic, because that is a Talco works kart in second place. And Dean Hale, who doesn't drive very often, as the 8 makes a great
Taylor.
move.
Taylor squeezes Springfield beautifully there for fifth.
Yeah, Dean Hale, who doesn't drive very often on a non-works kart, is showing him at the moment a clean pair of heels, and as you say, he's pulled 4 or 5 kart lengths.
Yeah, we've got to point out that Talco to TKM is a bit like what Mercedes currently is to Formula One. They're a massive brand. If you want to do well in TKM, it's always been you go Talco. You always want to be part of the Talco Works team. You always want to be on a Talco chassis, even as an independent. That's the one you pick.
I will say this though, there are drivers that are supported by Talco, Alan Turney personally, and Adam Sparrow is one of them. Wellham there, looking like he's going to get done, is he? By Allnut on the outside.
Yes.
That's a great move by Matthew there. Lovely
Set him up,
move.
absolutely set him up on the way out of the turn there, Allnut.
I will say this though, in TKM, I sort of mentioned this when I was talking to Graham Butterworth at the beginning of the show. If you're in TKM and you've got a problem and Alan Turney's at the meeting, it doesn't matter whether you're a works driver or not. You go and see Alan, I've got a problem, Alan. What is it? I've got a problem with the car, but can't quite get it right. Bring it over, I'll have a look at it. That is what Alan does. It's a great service.
Yeah, it's always
all of the drivers.
It's great sporting, it's great competition, and it's very true to your own brand. You know, you could just walk away and say, well, you're a privateer, you're not really my issue, but that is not the way he does things. Oh, that's a late one. Goodness me, Wellham leaves it to the last minute, and who benefits from that? Cornell's up 2 places from 7th, up into 5th. That jostle for position caught out both Taylor and Springfield. They are now down to 6th and 7th. Oh, it looks like we've had Jack Ransom off. There he is. That's a shame for Jack Ransom on the Alonso kart. So unfortunately, he is out of it on the 27. What a shame. So that's the latest retirement from the race. Now we're jostling. Time is up. This is for 3rd position. They know they're not going to get the win, and it looks to me as though even Sparrow's not going to get the win. I think that's going to be Dean Hale as they go into the last lap. It's going to be these 5 for 3rd position. Springfield pulling up alongside Taylor as they dive for the move, and here comes Wellham and Allnut. They're squabbling away, absolutely glued to that inside line, back to the inside line for the next turn as they go through the willows. This is terrific squabbling as they continue to tussle, but this man out in front, Dean Hale, has just been absolutely superb.
Masterclass from Dean Hale. Difficult to lead the race from start to finish, but he's done that and pulled away from the works driver behind him. Fantastic effort by the Williams F1 man. Claire Williams, take note.
Yep, if you ever need a corporate carter to win your race and Sergei Sorokin's not available, this is your boy wonder. Dean Hale gets the victory, and he absolutely grooves across the line. Brilliant there from Dean Hale. Up in front of Sparrow. 3rd place does go to Wellham, just in front of Allnut by 0.06 of a second. And Dean Hale not only wins the TKM Extreme Festival win, but for me, he's also won Top Celebration. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? He's got his moves like Jagger all sorted for the party later. Brilliant.
Great effort, and a nice little celebration for Dean. That scores him an 8 out of 10 in these celebrations. So Dean Hale it is that takes the win. The official results afterwards, have we got any penalties?
Just the one by the look of it, Michael Cornell. So Kai Springfield will be promoted to 5th in front of Matthew Taylor, Savage, Matt Beery, Luke Graver and Sean Abbott ahead of Rosser. But Dean Hale, by half a second, is your winner.
Obviously, you were involved in a real scrap there. It could have been anyone's position.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't actually know, or I can't actually remember what happened because there's been like the festival and the O-plate, so I don't actually really know how I did it. I guess when the coverage comes out, I'll see what happened.
Yeah, it was a pretty drastically busy race on the last lap or two.
Yeah, I know it was busy, but I can't actually really remember what happened. But
no, very honest.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was clean and everyone drove sensibly, I think.
Yeah. Very good. Well done to you. In 2nd place, we had then Adam Sparrow. Now, Adam, you spent a great deal of time this weekend following in the footsteps of Dean Hale. You just couldn't quite pull it off.
I know the best way to increase your chances is to try and create a gap, and I just thought the best way of doing that is not to fight with Dean, create a gap behind me, and then when it comes down to the last few minutes, make the move. I got a bit of an issue. The flex snapped, and that just made me lose power, and I just lost touch of Dean, and I couldn't make the move. But that's how racing goes, and you just got to push on for the next run.
Yeah, well done to you. And Dean, then, a pretty immaculate weekend because I think you won either, was it all 3 heats, or certainly you won all 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then the final, etc. So not a bad weekend for you, really.
Yeah, no, it's been all right. Obviously I've been starting off second all weekend, so I had plenty of practice to try and get around the outside on the first corner, and finally made it work in the final, and managed to hang on. And
You must have been a bit fed up of looking behind and seeing this guy right behind you.
Yeah, he didn't let me go. Kept hanging on, and made it hard work.
Great result, though.
Cheers. Yeah. Can I just say thanks to Scott and Ross and Mark at Jade Karts and the Birrell.
That's a nice trophy to show off at Williams on Monday. TKM Extreme Clubman Final is up next, and what a race this one's going to be.